Random. It's always good to talk to you about random stuff.
Yeah.
What's the topic of today?
So, random cultural thing. I was thinking about this the other day, that when people talk about the resurrection, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the resurrection. I feel like there's two places that we go when we say we're grateful for the resurrection. Number one is we say, I'm going to be so grateful to see my family and give them, and be there with my family. And then number two is I'll be so grateful because I'll get my hair back. We all point out something that's wrong with our bodies and that's going to be fixed.
Uh-huh.
And number one, the issue of seeing your family, I'm like, well, wouldn't you see your family as a spirit? I mean, don't we believe that once you, in the spirit world, you be with your family? So I feel like we're missing the whole point of the resurrection, which is that you got your body back. Like, for most of us, when the resurrection happens, every cell in our body will not be there. It'll be repurposed into something else. Right? I mean, regardless of how you were buried and what uniform you were buried in or whatever
right.
like every cell in your body will not be there.
Head will be lost,
But somehow, some miracle is going to happen that body is going to be brought back together, and now it's going to be an eternal body that will never die. Like, I feel like we just kind of blow past it. We're like, oh, I'm going to get my hair back. It's going to be wonderful. It's like, stop and think about the fact that this is this miracle of the resurrection. Like, I don't know. I feel like every time I hear that, somebody's like, oh, the resurrection is going to be so great. I'll get my hair back. And I'm like, stop and think about what you're talking about. This is the day, like the miracle of the resurrection. Just stop and think about what that actually means. And, the fact that you get your hair back, what difference does that make? The fact you get a body back at all is the greatest, most amazing miracle.
They talk about like one of the ways to qualify for heaven is there's going to be a lot of people in heaven, right? Or however it all works out. There's personalities that I don't get along with that are going to be in heaven.
True.
And I'm going to be there. Most likely. I hope so, right? I think so. And they talk about like part of being in heaven and qualifying for it is having charity and just loving everyone for whatever. And so will we care what we really look like? Does that matter anymore? Like, will we still have this fallen world's version of what beauty is? You know?
Right. I mean, what does a perfect resurrected body look like? Does that mean that we're all, 26 years old and ripped and have a full, Fabio hair and a long beard? Like, what is that?
Yeah, and that's the thing is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So what's attractive to one person is not attractive to the other.
Right.
But I'm still in that going for the ripped and Fabio look, And so in my mind, I'm like, I think about...
I don't think in any of Joseph Smith's description of the father and the son, he ever said they look like Fabio, but maybe.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. But part of me, I'm going to like, you were on this side of the pendulum. I'm going to bring it like back.
Okay.
One thing that I don't like is people talk about, and Alma talks about like restoration. Like, it's not restoration to bring you back to something you never were.
Right.
And so to me, it's like if you
I
never...
100% agree with that.
It's tough because it's like if you never earned the body, if I like at one point in my life get down to like 9% body fat and I am ripped and everything, and it's like, I hope that's what I'm, in my mind as a 32-year-old, I'm like, that's what I hope. But then there's like other people who haven't worked for that or earned that, but then there's other people who their body like won't allow them to get there. Like they have physical conditions like cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy or whatever, that their body can't even get to that.
Yeah.
Whatever we determine as the perfect.
Well, then the other side of that is we all assume that day one of the resurrection, I have a perfect body. But you don't have a perfect spirit. We know for a fact that your spirit over time, that I'm not going to be perfect right at the resurrection. My perfection is a life, is an eternal journey that I go through to become more like God. I'm not like God at the point of resurrection. So why would I assume that an imperfect spirit could go into a perfect body? Or does the body have to go through a perfection process as well? It can be resurrected and, whatever that means, so that it's a body that doesn't die. And it's, we read in this week's Come Follow Me that we were spiritual,
Spiritual creation and then physical.
Physical, but then
First will be
physical
last,
back
last will
to
be
spiritual. So the resurrection is a spiritual body, whatever that means. But here's this body that is now, you know, probably capable of a lot of things that we can't even comprehend at this point. But at the same time, I don't know that I believe that the minute of the first, you know, second year the resurrection happens, you're perfect. I think that there's, because I can't believe that an imperfect spirit can go in a perfect body.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the other thing is we get this, I didn't know this till like I was on my mission, and missionary like read this to me. I was like, oh, that makes sense. 1 Corinthians 15, 40-42 talks about their celestial bodies, terrestrial, telestial. He's saying there are also bodies celestial. So the resurrection, the type of body you get on where you go is different, is what he's saying. And the celestial is the brightest, most glorious body. And so when we're resurrected, we start with like baseline, like you are now immortal. Yeah. And then you get more capability and lightness and glory. I don't know what any of that means, what that translates to. I can't comprehend that. But it's clearly defined that you have a different body per place.
Yeah.
So
that's a great point. Yeah.
And the other thing, I might have it with me. I don't have it. C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. Mm-hmm. He talks about time, Heavenly Father, and Jesus, like the gods, are outside of time.
Correct. Right.
And so for him, he says we're all like a book on the shelf, and they can pick it up and they can read that book. And to us, we're experiencing time, but they don't experience time. And so you ask the question, or you propose like, my spirit's not quite there yet, and at some point it needs to become perfect over time. And we have, so the question is, at what point do we become timeless? Do we not experience time anymore? And I think that's not until you're perfect. I think you have like millennium and whatever million thousands of years you need to get there. And then once you get that, are you outside of time? I don't know. I feel like all we've done in this have been asked questions, proposed things.
I feel like there's multiple dimensions that we don't comprehend. I think there's more than just time. Personally, I think there's, you know, it could. I mean, some people believe there could be as many as 10 different dimensions that we just don't comprehend. So if God sits outside of those dimensions,
right,
we would
sees everything clearly.
And maybe that is, once you become resurrected, you can sit outside those dimensions. Maybe you're resurrected by. Here's another stupid thing that doesn't tie anything together, but I heard this week from Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I thought this is really fascinating.
Who's also, the more I hear him talk, the more I'm like, I don't know.
I know. No, but he said the theory of relativity, if you're traveling at and they've tested this, that the faster you go, the slower time is relative to people who are not moving.
Let me comprehend that real quick. The faster you go, the slower time is to people.
So if you're technically, I think what they did is they took somebody and put them up in space, and they had an atomic watch on the planet, and they put it up in space, and when they got back, they were off.
Okay.
Because something in the ground, I don't know, something that you're not moving and they're moving different. Anyway. So what the theory is, in the theory of relativity, is that the speed of light moves at the speed of light. The closer you get to the speed of light, time slows down.
Okay.
If you were moving at the speed of light, so if you were a photon of electricity that's moving at the speed of light, or a photon of light that's moving at the speed of light, you could travel 100 million light years and get here, and to you, time wouldn't have passed. So if you're traveling at the speed of light, time doesn't pass. Even though it would be 100 million years here from the time you left where you started to the time you got here.
Huh.
Does that have anything to do with us existing out of time? Does God live at the speed of light? I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that dumb comment that doesn't mean anything, but I was like thinking about it. I'm like, that's actually interesting. Like,
he definitely doesn't experience time like we do.
Right.
And I think, and maybe...
Well, I think it says time is one eternal round to him. In Doctrine and Covenants.
Yeah.
It's before him, and it's one eternal round, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I mean, like I said, the thing that, when we stop and think, I mean, we take a lot of things for granted, I think, our knowledge in the church sometimes. And I feel like we need to step back and go, what am I really saying? Like, I mean, and then we just, I'm so glad I'll get my hair back. Like, dude, stop and think about what you're actually saying. You're going to get your body back. A body that is now 100% worm food is somehow going to
be perfect.
Like what? Like that's bonkers. I mean, think about it. If you're in the spirit world, I've died, and we're all sitting there in the spirit world, and they go, "Okay, it's time for the resurrection." I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? I mean, am I just supposed to like say a prayer and it works? Like. I wouldn't even know where to start with the resurrection. It's so out of the realm of possibility of things that we could do in our powers that we just have to accept it as a miracle, and it's just a gift from God. You know what I mean? Like keep it for what it is. It's not just this spoken, yeah, man, I'm gonna have the resurrection, I'm gonna have my hair. Like it's this amazing, amazing gift that God's given us, and we kind of just pass over it sometimes. I feel like.
Yeah. I guess unless you want to keep going, we can have a concluding thought.
Yeah.
There's an amazing rated R movie. It's called About Time. Have you ever seen that one?
Is that the one with I think I have. Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's like filmed in the UK. It's got
It's got
Domhnall Gleeson or something like that? He was in a bunch
one of the Harry Potter guys.
Yeah. Red hair guy. He's also General Hux, bad guy in.
And the dad is a really good actor. I don't remember his name. Yeah.
Yeah. So
remind me the premise. I remember that was a good one. I remember
incredible
that one
movie.
Like sat with me for a couple of days.
Yeah. The premise of the movie is the men in this family have the ability to go back in time.
That's it.
To whatever they want. And so it's, what are you going to do with that power? And I don't want to ruin it, but I guess I am going to ruin it. The final ending scene is the father and the son have a very close relationship, and you start to realize the son keeps talking to his father in this like out of time experience, and they're both aware that they can time travel, and so the father's like kind of passing on wisdom and what he's learned over time, and not giving the secret away this happy life to the son. He's like, you got to figure this out, but like let's talk, let's communicate. So they always play ping pong when they do it.
Yeah.
And then finally, as time passes, the son realizes that the dad he's going to die.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he's had this conversation with his dad over and over, and his dad's like, hey, like my time's short. And he's like, but I think there's like one thing we can do, like one last thing. This is the final scene in the movie. And you ask like what, to go back to your question of like, we'll be resurrected, we'll have our bodies, and then we'll be with our families. And he's like, there's
who will also be in resurrected bodies.
Yeah. And he's like, there's one last thing I want to do. And they live in oh man, it's like I'm gonna ruin it. It's a place in England with like the famous cliffs and the beaches.
Yeah.
And the last thing that they do is they go back in time to when the son is like 6 years old, and they go to the beach and they just throw rocks on, and that's like the last memory that the dad wanted to have with his son.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think about one, like just playing catch with your kids, and like how satisfying that is. But also like in the resurrection, Joseph Smith said this I believe to Emma, or she had a dream. This is getting like way. Dirk Mott talked about this on they had so many children pass away.
Yeah.
And one of them was Don Carlos.
Yeah.
Who was also the name of one of Joseph Smith's brothers. But they had a baby, Don Carlos, that passed away when he was like 2 years old. And so Emma has this vision where right before she died, she goes into this mansion, and Joseph Smith says, hey, like there's a mansion prepared for you, and they go in this room, and in a cradle she can see Don Carlos, and she just wants to hold him. And Joseph Smith had said when he was alive, and this is church doctrine, that if a child is passed at a young age, in the resurrection, in the millennium, the parents will have the opportunity to raise that child, with their body and still enjoy that. And so that reminds me of About Time, where like the last memory he wanted was
to be with your kids.
That experience, and I was like, man, that's beautiful.
Well,
powerful.
I think, and I mean, that was a great. Maybe you can splice this in before, because that was a great way to end it. But there's the scripture in D&C 138, I think it is, where Joseph Fielding Smith saw the vision of the spirit world.
Yeah,
he says in there that the spirits that are there look on the fact that they don't have bodies as a bondage, and they look forward to the resurrection.
Yeah.
And the way I've always thought about that is we will meet our family on the other side, but we'll be like, it's not the same without a body.
Yeah.
You know, hugging my mom is not the same without a body. Giving my wife a kiss is not the same if I'm just a spirit. It's not the body. And so we'll be like, man, I want my body back. And so that resurrection to not only get the body back and be with your family and be able to touch them. And now you've got this resurrected body, whatever that even feels like, which I have to imagine is an even more like noble sensations that we'll be able to have. Like, it's just amazing. And so I think we need to recognize what it is. Like, that's such a miracle. But
it's a beautiful. Anyway. Well, thanks for. I don't know if anyone, whoever, I'm gonna post this. Like, whoever watches this,
we're sorry.
Just, I don't know if we gave you any answers to anything. We just random musings. We enjoy talking about the gospel, and it's a beautiful thing. All right.
Our opinions are ours only. Do you have
that
disclaimer?
Yeah.